Go ahead, Doug.
All righty. Well, welcome to everyone to our Monday afternoon meeting in the new year. Our chairman, Charles Smith, is on the phone, but as Lucas advises us, he has to be visibly present to chair the meeting. So I'm stepping in for him. Had I known, I would have gotten a picture of him and put it on the wall behind me, but that didn't work. So in any event, I'd like to call the meeting to order. And I wasn't prepared to chair it, so I don't have the order of things. But I do want to start by, I think we have 2 sets of minutes to approve.
Correct.
So I would turn first to the November 2nd minutes and ask if anybody of the commissioners has any comments or corrections to the minutes.
This is Charles. I would have only one question, and that is relative to the project at the corner of Skokie Boulevard and I believe Glenview Road. There was a lighting plan that was supposed to be followed on and submitted as a part of the approval. And
yes,
Lucas, I'm asking if that had been submitted.
They are working on it. They have not yet submitted it, though.
Okay.
So Lucas, does that put this matter in abeyance additionally or differently than it stands now?
No, I think the minutes can still be approved as written.
Any other comments? Do I hear a motion to approve?
I move we approve the minutes of November 2nd.
Second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Minutes are approved. We'll turn to the Monday, December 7th minutes, and I'll ask the same questions if any of the commissioners have comments or corrections to the minutes. Hearing none, is there a motion to approve?
Okay, I move we approve December 7th, 2020 minutes.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 The minutes of December 7th are approved. All right, the first, I think we have, do we have anything on the consent agenda? We do.
Yes, there's one item on the consent agenda. I can go over that if you would like.
Yes, please.
Sure. It's for case 2021 AR3. It's for 1222 Washington Court. And it's a new Pilates studio that will be replacing the former Pilates studio that was at that location. So they will be just doing a swapping out of the awning fabric, same awning fabric, same color, white lettering, in the same location. And it's a conforming sign.
Are there any comments or objections to the consent agenda?
I just have for out of curiosity, how is it done, Lucas? Do you know? Did you use term swapping? They are going to exchange this part of textile that has already with the brand new one that's going to change the name. That's all?
Yes. Yeah. So they'll be removing the awning fabric and putting new awning fabric on top of it.
Okay, thank you.
Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Okay.
Second?
Second.
Lucas, would you call the commissioners?
Sure. Nada Andrick,
Yes.
Richard Brill,
Yes.
Kevin Castellano,
Yes.
Doug Johnson.
Yes.
Mason's not here. Jeffrey Saad.
Yes.
Okay. And actually, Charles, unfortunately, since you're not visible, we can't have you be a voting member. So I'll just mark you down as absent then.
Okay, good to know.
That's an interesting requirement, actually.
Yes, I know.
I don't have the agenda order, Lucas. Could you
Sure.
advise us as to what's next?
Yeah, I'll call the first case. 2020 AR 19 for 1168 Wilmette Avenue. The Pit and Tap is the applicant. And as you remember, they were here before us at previous meetings, and they were granted an appearance review certificate for the proposed remodeling of the facade, with the exceptions of the doorway, which we were waiting for some clarification on some code issues, and the signage. So those two things have been clarified and were in the packet. And if the applicant would like to add any additional information, the floor is theirs.
No, we heard back from the building that we needed to make a change to the entranceway, as was kind of guessed upon by the committee, and we have now, as you'll see, have set it back as code requires. So there is now the door now is into the restaurant and opens out without having any. It doesn't hit the sidewalk.
Well, I think it's very responsive, and I appreciate all the work and effort that's gone into this by you folks. Not an easy process sometimes, I understand. I'm going to ask, I don't know if there are comments from any of the commissioners or questions. Like to start, Nada, would you like to start?
I thank you, Doug. I'm assuming that all what we are seeing here is retaining the details that you developed when the door was flush. In other words, that the finish on the door and the little glass round opening is what you had shown us before.
Correct. We just have pushed it back into the restaurant space.
Okay.
Code requires.
And the soffit above the door, it's the same finish as the parapet, as the wall, the low wall, right?
Yeah, Lucas, can you actually pull up the drawings?
Yes. Give me 1 second.
By the way, how tall is the door?
Well, the door doesn't exist. Okay.
What is shown?
Once you've approved it, I'll buy a door. But so right now it's door height, eight feet, I'm guessing.
I think it's 7'2", but it's shown on this drawing. Here you can see that the door and the transom above it is now recessed in the upper right-hand corner.
So what height of the door are you going to settle to?
Give me a minute and I'll look it up. It's either 7 foot or 7'2". It's a standard door height.
Yeah. when I dimensioned it, I think it was 7 foot. Or I should say when I scaled it.
Thank you.
While that's being addressed, the one question I had, and also thank you for responding to our concern about swinging into the pedestrian right of way. It appears that there is approximately, I think it says, it's hard to read, but it says 4 inches to the latch side of the door. I would ask that you confirm that is ADA compliant. I would concern that that's too small of a dimension from the edge of the door to the open area there. So just confirm that if you could, please, with the village.
So the reason that it complies is that we have an automatic operator. So in other words, you press a panel on the door opens. If we didn't have that,
Right.
then we would have to have 12 inches on one side and 1'8" on the other.
Okay, very good.
And I've confirmed that with our building department as well.
Jeff, do you have any questions or comments?
I think it's good. I guess the one thing with the lights, I think previously there were 3 lights, one above the door, or maybe I'm mistaken, but I thought I remembered 3.
Yep, you're correct.
Okay.
So let me walk us through that.
Okay.
There is a third light. It's actually a down light. Could you scroll down to the next image, Lucas?
Yes.
So there's a downlight above the door, and then you can see the recessed transom. There is not a sconce to the left of that because there's a concrete structural element behind the brick, and it would be difficult to actually pull the conduit through it.
And is the other light not sort of centered in the brick because property line, or how it's left justified, the one in the far?
I'm sorry, could you
The light-
I guess
yeah, that
talking
light.
about this light right here, if you can see
Yeah.
the screen.
oh, okay.
Just really close to the left, is that the property line? I noticed there's ornamentation in the dental work of the brick above, trying to stop, but if you
Yeah,
have that whole
yeah,
area,
if you scroll up a little bit, you'll see the edge of the property. And yeah, you can see that the where the counter ends on the right, and that all lines up. That's where you see one over the plan of the actual windows. It's right above the facade.
yeah.
This one?
Yes, you can see where the tenant space ends. And that lines up below, and then we put the
Okay. So that's
within
basically
it.
what this line here is representing is the division of the tenant space.
That's right.
Okay.
So we
Joel.
Yep.
You previously, if I recall, had a side light to the door and gave a little bit of elbow room around there. Are you confident that a 3-foot 8-inch opening is going to serve the needs of the traffic flow in and out of the restaurant?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have anything else.
The flow is contained really by the 3-foot opening of the door anyway. And then with an automatic operator, it will be just fine. You won't have people walking in and out at the same time, but it's plenty of room.
Devin, do you have comments or questions?
No, it looks good. I guess my only comment, just looking at the new rendering, I would probably not do the limestone sill beneath the windows. I would probably have that a material that would match either the window mullions or the
Okay.
siding below. But otherwise, that's it for me.
Could you scroll down to the image below?
Yeah, there's yeah, there were some notes added. New brick metal sill.
Yeah, we're going to follow your advice. Actually, I thought that was a really constructive comment from last month.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if it's rendered perfectly, but we're going to follow your advice on that. I think that makes a lot of sense.
But that was it. Otherwise, it looks good.
Okay.
Richard, comments?
Yes. The recessed door is a great solution. I want to thank you very much for creating it, and it solves a lot of problems. I wonder about, are we going to be talking about the sign at the
Yes.
top of the restaurant. Is that a separate issue tonight or?
Yes, there's a separate drawing for it. There's a shop,
Okay.
an actual shop drawing.
Yeah, right.
Do you
Are we
wanna go to
talking
that
about
drawing,
that now?
Richard?
Or are we going to bring that up after the doorway?
We can go ahead and talk about it now. I think it's all in one package, isn't it, Lucas?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay. Lucas, I presume that the size and shape and the square foot coverage of the pit and tap sign meets code?
Correct.
Okay, and I'm not completely clear. Are these going to be blue?
It'd be white, a white light.
Okay, are these going to be lit letters?
Yes.
Okay. And so they're blue and white and
So it's
yeah,
blue. The inside of each letter is painted blue to brand, and white tubes illuminate the sign.
okay.
The outside of the letters are what are they? They're
Gold, I believe.
gold
Anodized.
anodized. Thank you.
Okay. And they come out about 3 inches from the wall. And the overall dimensions are 40 inches by 90 inches. Okay,
Correct.
I'm just trying to understand this better. That seems fine to me.
Lucas, a question. Is there any inconsistency with the sign code on this?
No, it would be meeting the sign code.
Ah, thank you. Charles, do you have any additional comments, questions?
Not at this time.
And since we have the drawing up,
Thank you.
have I covered everyone? Mason's not here, right?
Correct.
All righty. I have to say that it's very responsive, and I think from the rendering, the design pulls together very, very well, much better than its predecessors. Is there a motion to approve?
Yeah, I'd be glad to make one. For case 2020 AR 19, 1168 Wilmette Avenue, I propose that we grant an appearance review certificate for the amended doorway and wall sign.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Lucas, could you call the commissioners?
Yes. Not Andrick?
What are we doing? Are we concluding?
Yeah, voting on the request as submitted.
As submitted.
As
Okay.
submitted.
I'm saying yes.
Richard Brill,
Yes.
Devin Castellano,
Yes.
Doug Johnson,
Yes?
and Jeffrey Saad.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Next time we see each other, you can be in my restaurant, not on Zoom. Okay?
I will.
I am looking forward to it, Michael. I'm coming in. I can't
Great,
wait.
good. Looking forward to seeing you all there.
In that grill you got, so.
Right. Save us a place at the window.
We'll do. All right. Thanks, guys. Bye.
All right, thanks.
Thank you. Lucas, the next matter.
Yes, next case is 2021 AR01 for 1500 Sheridan Road. The petitioner is 1500 Sheridan Road Homeowners Association, and they're requesting an appearance review certificate to install a generator in their side yard. And I believe the project engineer is on the call, as well as the HOA chair, I believe.
Yeah, you have Ryan Coles here with Thermflow, who is the electrical and mechanical contractor on the project. And then I believe you have Sydney, who is head of the homeowners association.
No, I have the building committee.
Building
Oh,
committee.
sorry.
I apologize.
That's all right.
So yeah, this petition would be for a new emergency generator for the building's emergency lighting. They currently have one existing. This would be to, in addition to that one, and this would be specifically for emergency lighting purposes.
All right. Do you have any questions, Nada, or comments?
I went personally to look for, to find, according to this description, what is happening there. And it is so inconspicuous and discreet. I hardly have any comment, frankly speaking. I'm assuming, looking at the existing generator, I don't know, is it possible to do any kind of a more of a screening with the vegetation, meaning some something like that? Because it appears it's a very highly aesthetical kind of a question also, because everything around is so beautiful. And so that's all I really can say at this time, and maybe understand a little more any kind of a potential complexity of this.
So currently there are, obviously given the temperature, there are some, the bushes that would hide the appearance of the generators. If you were looking from the lake towards the generator position, obviously they're not in bloom right now, so you can see right through them. But there are, I believe, if I'm looking at the picture correctly, there are three there currently. And then from Sheridan Road, if you were to look towards the generator position, you have the wall, the aesthetic wall that would be the view of it.
Good. Very well concealed. So.
And then from the neighboring property to the northwest, there's several evergreen trees.
So this is going to be in essentially the same place.
Yes, it's I believe it's 3.5 foot to the what would be north.
Correct.
And from a square footage standpoint, about the same?
Yes.
Jeff, do you have any questions or comments?
I was just reviewing it and going through the document a little bit more. With the increased generator, was there increased fuel supply, or where's the fuel supply? Is it?
So the fuel supply would be coming through the, there's the parking garage. You can kind of see with the existing unit, there is fuel supply there, which is coming from the underground parking garage. And you would basically punch through the existing concrete and fuel it from there. So we would be doing essentially the same thing. All the fuel supply would be hidden in the underground parking garage, and we would punch out where the generator would be positioned, fuel, and then the natural gas would come up and then fuel right to the generator in its proposed position. So the exposed piping would be minimized as best as possible.
Okay. So it's natural gas, not diesel.
Yes, sir.
All right. Richard, any questions or comments?
Just that this is a very good presentation, especially your photos of the 4 or 5 different directions. It's meaningful, and I appreciate that together. Everything looks very, very good to me, and nicely handled and discreet, and I don't have any problems with it at all.
Devin, question first, Lucas. Devin just has DC on the screen. Does that count for her picture?
I can see her. Yeah.
Okay. Devin, do you have
it might show up a little different on other people's screens, but yeah.
All righty. Thank you. Devin?
I just had a question. I'm assuming this was already looked at, but it meets the decibel requirement.
Yes,
For-
it does.
Yes.
Yep.
Requirement.
Okay, that was all my questions.
Charles, any questions or comments?
No, I agree with the commission that it's a very straightforward and well-presented application.
Yes, certainly concur. Is there a motion to approve?
Okay, I'd be glad to. Again, for case 2021 AR1 1500 Sheridan Road, we propose granting an appearance review certificate to install a generator in the side yard.
Is there a second?
Second.
Could you call the commissioners, Lucas?
Sure. I just want to make sure there's no one else on the line who wishes to
Oh,
speak.
of course, thank you.
No, I have no comments from the homeowners association. I mean, we appreciate the ability for us to do this, and basically this replaces two generators that we had in the boiler room that both failed. They were both 40 years old, and rather than try to shoehorn them into the boiler room as replacements, we felt that this was a better and more efficient way to do this. And it not only does it, as Ryan points out, supplies our emergency lighting, but it also supplies emergency power to our sump pumps and injector pumps for sewage removal out of the garage should they fail, should there be a power failure.
Okay, I don't see anyone else in the chat. So not hearing anyone else, I'll call the roll. Nada Andrick?
Yes. For
Richard
approval.
Brill?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Did you have a question, Nada?
No, I said yes for approval.
Oh, okay, sorry. Richard Brill?
Yes.
Devin Castellano?
Yes.
Doug Johnson?
Yes.
And Jeffrey Saad?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Motion carries.
Thank you all.
All right, Lucas, could you call our final item?
Yes, last case, 2021 AR02 for 1515 Sheridan Road. The petitioner is Sehul Patel for Rosati's Pizza, and they're requesting an appearance review certificate to screen new rooftop mechanical units, which are proposed to accommodate a couple different hoods inside the restaurant. And Sehul, I believe you're on the line if you have anything else to add.
No, it's just two exhaust fan and a makeup air unit. It's being installed on the roof, and that's why the screening is required. They are 57 inches in height, so we are proposing 5 feet tall screening.
Okay.
So is this, I'm sorry, is this consistent with other screening that's going to remain there?
There is no screening currently on the building. The only screening is being provided by the parapet wall. But because of the height of these units, they're going to be over the height of the parapet wall. So that's,
these are uniquely higher than what's there.
yes, I believe the
Yes.
units that are there are closer to 3 feet in height. These would be about 2 feet, roughly 2 feet taller.
I see. So let me ask, does this, would this be more visible than the existing units at 3 feet, even though they're shorter? Is there a difference now in visibility of, it's going to look different between a screened unit and an unscreened unit?
Well, the units that are there right now, if you drive by at grade level, even looking at across the street, you can't see the existing units. because of the location of these, they're going to be a little bit closer to the exterior wall. And because of the height, the units, I guess the exhaust units are likely going to be visible from the street. And so
At least the one of them.
mhm. And then in the kind of the rear of the space is where they've got a makeup air unit, and that potentially could be visible from someone traveling on Westerfield.
So it would, according to the current proposal, it would not have a screen, but the closer ones would.
Correct.
Okay, thanks for the clarification.
Mhm.
If we can ask the commissioners, I guess go in reverse. Charles, do you have any questions?
I do. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. My first question is, the southernmost exhaust fan is located fairly close to the southernmost wall. Is there a reason that cannot be moved to the north to be immediately east of the other proposed exhaust fan? Away from the street.
I don't have an answer for that, but I can definitely ask the architect.
Well, the reason I'm asking is that, fans can be located anywhere. You just need to run horizontal ductwork to them. And if you move that further away from the street, it will be less visible, and potentially if you move it directly east of the other proposed exhaust fan, you wouldn't need the screening there. That's the question I would like to have an answer to, because this will have an impact on the aesthetics. And I've sat in the courtyards across the street in the units that are on Westerfield, and it's not only a visual impact, but it's a noise impact. And so I think understanding the agility to move that fan further to the north and further to the east is a pertinent question here. I'd like to also get confirmation that and I believe the answer, I know the answer, but I want to get confirmation that the air handling unit will not be on any extra dunnage, and the top of it is resting at 57 inches total, and there's nothing below the straight duct that goes down to the roof.
I say, well, unless you've got another answer or additional answer, I think I can answer this question.
Yeah, please.
So there is a curb which will be roughly 24 inches in height. So that will be sitting, but the total height, including the curb, will not be any taller than 5 feet.
Okay, I'm just wanting to confirm that, Lucas, because I've had situations in my own work where all of a sudden there's a piece of steel or an 8-inch high piece of dunnage that projects the unit up higher than what's shown on the drawings. And then if that would happen, it would be unfortunate because it would defeat part of the purpose of the screen. Mm-hmm. So if that's the case, then that's great. I'll just stop there with those two questions.
Yeah, I guess we can also confirm with the mechanical contractor who's going to be doing the installation, but according, based upon, my the information I've obtained from the architect, it's just going to be that 24-inch curb plus the height of the makeup air unit itself, which is, well, I guess a little bit more than 36 inches, 36 inches or 36 3/4 inches.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Charles. Devin, do you have any questions?
No, I think I just concur with Charles. If that can get moved north to help the sight lines at the street level, that would be better.
Richard.
Yes, I'm looking at the aerial view, and it shows, I believe, 2 mechanical units there. And what is the black rectangle to the left of it? Does anybody know that?
I do. I see it. It's
So that's
to
just
the
dirt
lower
on,
left,
on
right?
on the roof.
Yes.
It's not a,
Yeah,
there's not
that's
a
a good
shadow
question.
there, Richard.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, we were just asking what that is in the lower left of the red box on the aerial view.
Yes.
Yeah, I actually don't know. My my best guess is it's some sort of temporary materials that were put up there. I don't.
It looks like that's where the roof drain might be located, and that maybe that.
Yeah. Yes.
Just sort of some junk that got. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
This photo, I presume, are the 2 existing rooftop mechanical units that are going to be replaced by the new ones. Is that correct?
Those 2 units are going to remain. So those units are, I guess, serving the heating and cooling of the unit.
Okay.
The new rooftop unit are going to be used for exhaust. They're going to have 2 grills, essentially, which are going to need some exhaust. So that's what the two exhausts are going to be used for.
So if those 2 units are existing and remaining in use, will not the 2 exhaust fans cause a problem for the intake on those units?
I don't see it on here, but I remember seeing a plan showing the distance that they needed to be set back from each other. And according to that plan, they were set back the necessary distance.
Okay. So my question is, where would these 2 new units go? Would they be to the east of them? Or,
they would be to, yeah, essentially closer to the front of the storefront. So because it's not at it's kind of at an angle, it'd be kind of southeast.
Okay, so it looks like the property might have the flexibility to move them a little further to the north, as has been suggested by 2 fellow commissioners. So it's away from the view of people on Westerfield. There's a fair amount of space there, and they could be moved to the north somewhat.
So Lucas, I guess I'm wondering along the lines of the comments so far, if it would be useful to have a sightline drawing from the 2nd floor of the Westerfield residences. I'm having trouble picturing how visually that's going to work with the screen.
Okay. Yeah, we can do that.
I'm wondering if I may ask, does this have to do with the layout of what's happening below? And how they want to organize, and where is the kitchen and where everything else is? So I think we have to have them advise us on that. as clearly they need this for a reason. So my second question was also, we know that Plaza del Lago is kind of a little jewel that we have here in Wilmette. And it looks beautiful when you walk through it and look at elevations and so on. Considering the high rises across the street, do we worry about the rooftops and the fifth facade? And do we, we have two other major chunks of space. We have Jewel and we have CVS. Is there a precedent down there? And can we help that elevation on the, not elevation, but the view, the top view, obviously taking into consideration what's going on below. But I'm just simply saying this whole thing was maybe needs to be kind of also addressed from the point of view of what happens with our friends on 1500 across the street, Sheridan Road. In other words, I'm just simply saying, is there a way to reconcile the function of the restaurant, the way it looks from above, and the noise and the view and etc. So these are the
Jeffrey, did you have any questions?
I guess when you go to the sheet A 1.1, and Richard, this might help clarify that the drawing's not in the same orientation as the aerial photograph. But you see the two darker units are the existing units. And then what I'm getting at is the screened units looks like the one on the bottom left for the exhaust. And then the entire new air handling unit with the pavers around it. I'm wondering, I know everyone's suggesting push it to the north, but I don't know if they can put it on other people's roofs with their leasing and with the responsibility, and they have the dormer in the front of their space. So I don't know how much real estate from this drawing that they really have to move it around. So that would be a question of where, if they can move it, where are those possibilities? And then I do agree with Doug, even if there was a section, and I know they have attached building elevations, but they seem to me only to be existing building elevations, and maybe, I'm not sure if the dotted box on the elevation is the 5-foot piece, Lucas. I'm just.
No, that is that would be the existing unit.
Okay, so these are just
approximately.
Yeah, so these are just existing drawings of what's there. There's no new information on these elevations, correct?
Correct. The parapet wall at that location is about 2.6 feet in height.
Okay.
So these could be sticking up an additional, I mean, if you're looking at it from elevation view, from the street level, it's not going to be quite that high, but if you're looking at it at elevation, it would be roughly another 2.5 feet that it would stick up above the parapet wall.
Yeah, so I guess even elevations with the louvers on it or the exhaust fan or something to show the scale of these things or what's happening. It seems to be the information. Yeah, if they want to do it down and dirty and put rooftop units on the building, here you go. But I think all the sensitivity and care that we've always done in these, I question the completeness of this proposal.
Okay, so you'd like to see it in elevation, and then potentially relocating at least one of the exhausts further to the north.
Yeah, and Lucas, for the record, and Jeff, I'm not proposing that southernmost exhaust fan go to a different property. I'm proposing or asking the question and acknowledging that there's internal interior planning involved. Can that fan move to be directly east of the other proposed exhaust fan, which is further to the north? So I'm not suggesting it goes to another property, right? That gets it away from the street and makes it less of an issue, in my mind, from a view, a line of sight perspective.
I agree, Charles. Then you wouldn't have to have that extra louvered wall over there either if you brought it all the way back to that second unit.
You would save money, or
Yep.
use the money to run the ductwork horizontally inside. One of the two.
Yep.
Yeah, do you want me to, can I share my screen showing the interior layout?
Okay.
So this is the interior layout, and you'll see this is the pizza oven over here, which is what one of the exhaust fans is going to be over, and then the other exhaust fan is going to be going over here, which is where they've got fryers and a range. So I think that was the initial thought by, of where to put the exhausts on the rooftop to be directly above those two areas. And to Charles's comment, I don't know. It sounds like you have experience to know that you are able to run a horizontal duct. So if that's possible, yeah, they can move that over. And let me just show the roof plan. So potentially you're talking about moving this unit kind of maybe over here.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Because this is, right here, this line is the subdivision of the tenant space. So they have some room to move it over. This unit, I don't know if there's a lot of flexibility.
That unit is being screened by the tree, though, if you look at it from the street view.
Mm-hmm.
And in the way that the roof slopes, I believe that you might have a taller parapet at that west end as well.
Correct. Yeah. Yep. That's where the highest parapet, highest portion of the parapet would be.
So Lucas, I think what we're talking about, and if the commissioners could correct me, is we need kind of a matrix here, a matrix of sight lines from the Westerfield residences to the different places that it's functionally possible to put the second unit, so that we have some sense of, how high it needs to be for how far back it can go. I don't have a sense that we know either.
Because are the exhaust fans 5 feet too, Lucas?
Yes.
Or just the major air handling unit?
Both are approximately 5 feet. I don't know if it's not quite 5 feet to the. Let's see. Yeah, makeup air unit is. Yeah, they're both 5 feet.
So Lucas, are there any comments from people who are on the line?
Let me see. No comments in chat, and I don't see anyone else on the line who hasn't already spoke, but if there is, please speak up. Yeah, I don't see anyone else.
So I have a sense of the commission that we would like to continue this matter on motion to get the possibilities for relocating that unit and to whatever extent we can, the height, the visual sight lines for that unit.
And Sehul, do you have anything else to add?
No, nothing to add. We'll talk with architects tomorrow.
Okay. And we typically do not issue a building permit until the appearance review certificate has been issued. I'm wondering if there is any work that you think that the commission thinks that they can start on prior to having this question resolved.
Well, I guess the real question is, what are the possibilities? And I don't know how we evaluate that from a distance, because we're only talking about this one item. So it either goes forward or it doesn't. There's an approval with a condition, but I don't know what the condition is, because I don't know that we know the functional alternatives.
Right.
But Lucas, is there an efficient way to do this? I don't want to unnecessarily cause a process problem.
Potentially we could issue the building permit with the condition that all mechanical work require an appearance review certificate. So they could get started on underground plumbing, electric, although electric could come into play with this as well, because you're going to need electric to be fed to the units. But there's some work that they could get started on.
Well, I personally don't have any objection to that approach. I don't know what other commissioners think.
Well, our purview is not building permits, right? We're
Right.
being asked we're being asked to evaluate a specific set of issues here. And I don't see how we can approve anything going forward until we have the questions answered that we've asked.
Well, I guess let me make sure I understand what you're saying. I mean, we of course don't have any building permit control,
right?
But if hypothetically, I'm just thinking out loud here, if we can issue a certificate that requires still the appearance and review for the screening and the location, if we have the sense that they're within what is there and the possibilities to move it north, that there will be an approval. I don't personally have an objection, but I certainly understand that that's slightly out of order. I just am concerned about holding up the parade.
Yeah, I would probably, I agree. I would be hesitant to probably issue any appearance review certificate, even conditionally. But at the same time, we wouldn't be able to, or I should say, we wouldn't typically issue any building permit because there's always the potential for.
I have to agree with Jeff in that, and Nada stated, this is one of the jewels of Wilmette, this whole complex, and we're being asked to make a decision. Some of us who are architects can project what the screening element would look like, but the elevations are scanned from the original set of documents, don't even show the improvements being requested. So I think we're being put in a position that is unfair to the village, and we don't have the information required. Plus, we've asked additional questions. So, I know I'm not voting here, but I do obviously have a strong opinion on the need to have the applicant go back and address these issues for us.
Okay.
Well, I appreciate that, Charles. In that light, does anyone have any further comments, or is there a motion to continue this matter until we have answers to these issues we've raised?
Yes, just one last thing with our certificate standards of mechanical equipment is located or screened so as not to be visible from surrounding streets and properties. And right now, just from the plan drawing, I don't see how it is screened or the visibility from surrounding properties and street. So that's, I think, just leads to all the comments that we've had.
So do I hear a motion to continue?
I'd like to make a motion to continue AR 2021 AR02 1515 Sheridan Road.
Is there a second?
Second,
I'll second that.
yes.
Any further comments before we call the vote? Lucas?
Okay. Nana Hendrick,
Yes. To
Richard Brill?
continue
Yes.
with condition, yeah.
Devin Castellano,
Yes.
Doug Johnson,
Yes.
and Jeffrey Saad.
Yes.
Okay. The case is continued to the February 1st Appearance Review Commission meeting.
Thank you, Lucas. Are there any public comments or other comments that are waiting online?
No other comments.
Any of the commissioners have other matters? A motion to adjourn.
Okay, so moved.
Second?
Second?
Can you call?
Yes.
Or just signify by aye.
Hi.
Aye.
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 Over formalize this.
All right. We have a majority.